How's it going, guys? My name is Maikya and welcome back to the top 10 sexy PokeTubers of 2019. My name is Maikya and I'm going to be going through a list today. No, I'm joking, right? Today we're going to be talking about my favourite bug type Pokemon from every generation. Now, let me know what yours are in the comment section down below before we start this video. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about each generation of bug types. And let's just get straight into my list. It's a very different one to most people, I believe. And I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more videos like this, and let's get into it. So for Generation 1 we have Butterfree. Now the reason why I choose Butterfree is I just love this beast from the get-go, right? So he's obviously like a bug flying, I believe, and he knows psychic moves, so Psybeam and that sort of thing. That's kind of why I chose him, because kind of early to mid-game in Pokemon Red, Blue and that sort of thing, he's pretty damn overpowered. He's pretty damn beast. So obviously you can use him in the Poison Gym, that sort of thing. He does a hell of a lot of damage, I can say that for sure. Now, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but I certainly felt that Butterfree was a spectacle, kind of in that generation especially. I mean, he's kind of underrated now and kind of not used as much anymore because obviously we've got so many Pokemon. But in the anime, his moment in the anime was really sad. I nearly cried with that. But other than that, in the games, you know, the early games, he's actually really good as a Pokemon, and that's why I chose him as my favourite bug type for Generation 1. Now, Generation 2 is a really strange one because I kind of went through the list and I was like, I'm not sure. I decided to go with Ariados. Now, the reason why I chose Ariados is I think he's actually quite an original design. He's obviously based on a spider, and he kind of has those features really prominent. But obviously what they've done is they've taken the kind of toxic aspects of the spider and that sort of thing, and the kind of bug-esque style of the spider and the arachnid sort of things, and they've kind of put that into the actual anatomy of the Ariados. So they've got obviously the little legs and that sort of thing. They've got all these bright colours, these bright venomous looking colours. Really strong Pokemon. I really like how Spinarak evolves from a green Pokemon, like a green little spider thing, into a big pink thing. I just think Ariados is really well done. I don't think he looks too much like a Pokemon, but that's why he looks like a Pokemon, if you get what I mean. He's kind of like the Pokemon that you think isn't a Pokemon, but actually ends up being a Pokemon. So that's why I chose Ariados for Generation 2. Let me know what you guys chose for Generation 2, and let's move on to Generation 3. Now for Generation 3 we have Masquerain. Now I really like this Pokemon. I thought this was pretty damn cool. I loved his design. I was not a fan of Surskit, I'll be honest with you. I kind of don't like Surskit at all. But Masquerain was somewhat of an interesting one because obviously Surskit was bug water, Masquerain was not. So it was kind of an interesting evolution to Surskit, and it was really unexpected, I'll be honest. So you can't really see Masquerain and Surskit being like literally next to each other. I could see Masquerain being a third evolution to Surskit and Surskit having kind of an in-betweeny phase. But I don't really get it, to be honest. I don't really know. I know that Surskit's based on water skaters, but I don't really know what Masquerain's based off. I believe it's like a moth or a dragonfly or something like that. But anyway, I really like the design of Masquerain. I think it's a good Pokemon. I think it's very underrated. And out of all the Generation 3s, I kind of consider this one to be the best bug type. So let me know if you guys disagree, but let's just move on to Generation 4. Now for Generation 4, I'm sure you guys will all agree with this one. It is my boy Serebii. I absolutely love this Pokemon. I love Drapion and I love Serebii. So this is obviously a bug poison type. I thought this was a really nice mix. I mean, obviously we've seen it before, but it's a really nice mix of types, and I felt that it worked really well. Now, it wasn't actually that good to use apart from in Eterna Gym, but you couldn't really use it in Eterna Gym because it was too early. But it was a strong Pokemon, and I can't remember who it was, but one of the Elite Four members had a Drapion, and that thing was lethal. Absolutely lethal. So obviously Drapion isn't. Drapion's like Bug Dark, not Bug Dark, sorry. He's Poison Dark or something like that. So I can't include him here, but I said Serebii because I love Drapion himself and Serebii as a kind of, you know, line of Pokemon in general. So I feel like Serebii was very underrated, considering we had things like Kricketune and, you know, other bug Pokemon sort of along those lines. And I feel like Serebii got missed out a lot by a lot of people. And I do feel that he has not been used that much, so go use your Serebii where you can. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought as Generation 4 bug Pokemon. Let me know yours. Now Generation 5, I feel like there's a bit of a trend going on here. Generation 5 for me is Scolipede. I absolutely love this Pokemon. It was actually kind of like my mascot for a while. Not really a mascot, but it was my favourite Pokemon for a long while. I used it so much. It was a poison bug again, I believe. It used things like, I think, a Sludge Bomb and that sort of thing. It was really, really, really strong in Pokemon Black and White 2. Really strong Pokemon. Like, I think most people had this on the team. And if they didn't, they're kind of missing out because this Pokemon's really nice. I love its design. I think it's really simple, really effective. I love the kind of whole line of that. I can't remember the first Pokemon in it, but I remember there's Whirlipede and there's Scolipede. And I feel like the whole line just has something to give to the Pokemon games. I believe the Gen 5 Pokemon are some of the most original and unique, despite half of them being based on kind of items and objects. I feel like Scolipede, for example, in the Pinwheel Forest was very, very, very clever of Game Freak to do that design, and I think it worked really well for them. So that's my Generation 5 one. I don't really have much more to say about that. Let me know yours, because I think there are quite a few bug types in Generation 5. And let's move on to Generation 6. Now, Generation 6, we didn't have many options, so I went with Vivillon. So obviously we had the Scatterbug line and the Spuper, and then Vivillon. I really like the idea behind Vivillon. Now, the reason why is Game Freak obviously did it, so every Vivillon had a different pattern based on where you got it from and stuff, and they had a Pokeball one. I really like that idea. It was like a Butterfree 2.0 for me. It was like a refreshing, you know, it's like a refreshment for me. It was really refreshing to see something like Butterfree in the Pokemon games in Generation 6, and I remember it very, very well. And I did use it a few times. It wasn't that powerful, but I just liked the idea that it had so many different designs based on where it's from and that sort of thing. So I think it was a really original Pokemon, and so that's why I chose it for Generation 6. Now let's move on to Generation 7. Now for Generation 7, here's another one that was almost my mascot for a little while. He was kind of a, I don't know if you guys remember back in the days where I had my little Pokemon trainer, I had a Cutiefly next to him. So that is this Pokemon in Generation 7, Cutiefly. Now I remember it being in Generation 6, but it wasn't when I looked it up, so I was like, oh yeah, it was in Generation 7. But I like this Pokemon. I felt that Ribombee was very powerful. I felt that Cutiefly was just a really cute, cool little thing. I absolutely love bees. They're my favourite insects ever, or my favourite, you know, not insects, but bugs, you know what I mean? And so Cutiefly was immediately like a big thing for me. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, it's a bumblebee, and it's a fairy type and a bug type, I believe, and it's just freaking cool. I don't know if it's fairy type, I can't remember. But anyway, I just thought it was a good Pokemon. I thought it was nice. I used it a hell of a lot, even though it was really underrated, but then it can do some damage in some of its moves. And I used it a lot on Showdown, kind of annoyed people with it. So that's why I chose that one. So anyway guys, sorry for the short one there, and also if the cut seemed weird there, it's because I went out of the room because the baby was crying. She's actually next door in the wall there, so that's the thing. But anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I really have time for. Well, it's not time for. It's just, that's the generations we have right now. I hope we get more bug Pokemon in Generation 8, some decent ones. So let me know what your lists are. I'd love to hear what you have to say down below. Sorry for the short video. I kind of ran out of ideas and was away at the weekend, so kind of was running short on fuel. But there will be more coming tomorrow, and there should be a Rumours recap tomorrow, so that's a big thing to watch out for. Anyway, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. And be sure to pop that notification bell on just to know when I upload next. Anyway dudes, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you very soon for another video. Keep strong, have a good time, and goodbye.